See, this is my favorite type of topic. This is when I'm able to really get into the gray areas of the game, or should I say the point that I feel like is so ignored in the game these days, in an era where we live, where everything is about goals, everything is about assists. I feel like we don't get to talk enough about players who are just simply quality players, who can influence games without scoring, players who on the ball they make you want to watch the game. And everything I'm saying right now is alluding to the talent that is Ethan Nwaneri. What a talent that boy is. And I've been speaking about him for a while. I even went to the Emirates to watch him in the FA Youth Cup, a few games when he was in the youth team, to see what the talent was about, to see what the hype is about. And each time I enjoyed watching him play. You know, there was times where he might struggle physically because he was playing up front in the games that I went to go and watch. And I thought, okay, he's going to need a few years. But here he is now on the Premier League level, playing for Arsenal, who are going for a title. And he's shining. He's shining. But guys, listen, before I get into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on. Let's get ourselves to 25k now. Let's get to 25k. Arsenal have just beat Brentford. I'll be honest, guys. It's 3-1 as I'm recording this video. It might end 4-1. Who knows? It's 3-1. Let me check right now. Arsenal have... Yeah, it looks like it's going to end 3-1. Either way, Arsenal have got 3 points. And in a way, you can say it was quite a scrappy first half. The first half, you know, there was a lot of bobbles. There was a lot of like long ball. There was a lot of like... But one thing I would say is that Arsenal's press, and I think it was started from Partey, was immense. Anytime Brentford were trying to get out, Arsenal were pressing onto them. So their counter press, their press, and made the game scrappy because they're winning first, they're winning seconds. Yes, people weren't really getting the ball under control, but Arsenal did what they needed to do. And in the second half, they took it up a notch, got their 2 goals. One was a bit of a bundly, scrappy one, but then Martinelli with a class finish. And that's what he needs to do more, especially with Bukayo Saka out. He's going to have to pop up in moments. He's going to have to pop up with important goals. So big credit to Arsenal for that. And listen, they're 6 points off Liverpool right now. With a game, they played a game more, but they're 6 points off, and all they can do is win their games, whether it's good performance, whether it's Sorry, people, the mic went out, cut out a little bit. But anyway, what I was saying is all Arsenal can do is win their games. They are 6 points off at the moment with a game advantage, of course. But they have to just win them, whether it's ugly, whether it's pretty. At this point now, the whole performance factor of things and wanting great performances is probably gone now because they're chasing. So at the end of the day, whether they win pretty, whether they win ugly, they have to remain in the race. And as Arteta said, any slip up from Liverpool, they have to be there. So a result away to Brentford, who have one of the best home records in the Premier League, you can't knock it. It's a good result. It's a good result. Brentford were jumping for it, and Mbeumo, good player, good goal. You know, some people saying Raya got caught out, but he gave him the Mbappe there, man. He gave him the Mbappe, gave him the eyes, went across the box. Across him. And I think it was a very good goal. But I'm going to speak about something got to do with Mbeumo, maybe a little bit later. But I want to talk about, as I mentioned, Ethan Nwaneri. Listen, I said, I think around the start of the season, I said Nwaneri, is better than 99% of Arsenal team, technically. And you can check the comments. I said it on DR Sports. The comments were killing me. They were saying, well, you got to wait. Saliba is better technically. Odegaard, Saka, Rice, all these names. And I was like, why do you have to wait? And I think that's a problem with the modern day. I think everyone thinks you have to wait to see talent. You have to wait to see them score goals, wait to see them assist. Why? What happened to genuinely just seeing a player, seeing his ability level and understanding where he's at? It's very clear that Ethan Nwaneri is one of the best technical players at Arsenal. It's easily clear to see. Whether that means his touch, whether that means manipulation in tight spaces, whether that means dribbling, whether that means his shooting technique, because the guy can whip it and he can leather it. He's going to score a lot of goals for Arsenal. It's very clear to see, and I've always been confused as to why people say stuff like, oh, wait and see, wait and see. You can see in the beginning, instantly. Arsene Wenger said something really good. He said, from 14, your technical ability is set. I'm sure everyone has heard of Max Doman at Arsenal, the youngster. Do people think that he's not technically unbelievable just because he's 14? When you're 14 years old, your technical ability is set. Now it's just about honing that up until 14 to 18. After that, you don't really add much in terms of your technical ability. You can add factors to your game. Can I become better off the last man? Can I improve my IQ into the game? Yes, that can come. But your technical level kind of remains the same from when you are I'm going to say 16, let's say 16, 15, whatever, 14, as Wenger said, to the rest of your career. Now you can add facets. You can be a better finisher. You could become a better finisher. You could do these. And there's extreme cases where you look at someone like Bale, or you look at, but Bale was smacking free kicks in from Southampton. You can see his technical level. He just didn't have that power. He didn't have that running speed that he developed going to the gym, doing the cross country that he was saying that he was doing. Cristiano, everyone says about his transformation, but this guy was scoring 30-yard screamers with his weaker foot for Man United in 04. So it's just about honing it. You can perfect your talent, but the talent is always there. And that's where it is with Ethan Nwaneri. He is going to be a problem. I'm telling people this now. He's going to be a problem. For me, this is Haylen's best talent. And I know Saka, unbelievable what Saka's done for Arsenal. He can go down as one of Arsenal's best ever players of what he's going to go and do in the game. And he's massively missed at the moment. But I think natural talent, I think Ethan Nwaneri is Arsenal's best one that I've seen probably since Jack Wilshere. He's up there. He's up there. And he's going to be a big problem in the future. You look at England, you see talents like that, you don't hold them down, especially when they come straight from your academy. There's going to be a time when Arteta's going to have pressure to be starting this guy. And what is often the case for young players to make their name in the team is when there's injuries. And we're looking at right now, there's a massive injury to Bukayo Saka. Can Ethan Nwaneri take that position for now until Saka is back and hold that down? Because they tried Martinelli on the right, it didn't work. But Nwaneri is similar in terms of he's safe when you pass it to him. He can ride challenges. He can drive inside, and he's a threat from a shooting position. So you're looking at something that's similar to what Saka brings. What Saka is so good at, though, is them 1-2 passes. Saka's so good at, you saw with the goal with Robertson, he's so good at timing his run, and he's gone in behind, and then it's a problem for you. Nwaneri hasn't got that to his game yet. Naturally, you're not going to probably have the IQ of Bukayo Saka, which has always been Saka's, in my opinion, best trait. Even from when he was young, he could play left back, he can play right wing, he could play centre mid, he could play left wing. But I think Ethan Nwaneri has that natural IQ as well. He has that natural intelligence. And there's a reason why there were so many teams after him, and Arsenal had to give him that contract, had to nail him down. Man City, Chelsea were chasing him. And Arsenal did well by keeping this guy, man. There's a reason why there was so much pressure on them to start getting this guy in the first team. I think he's the youngest player to ever play for Arsenal at 15. There's a reason why the pathway had to be clear for a talent like that. That guy will be playing for England very soon. He'll be playing for England very soon. So you see the Phil Fodens and all that. There's going to be a problem coming. A storm is coming. And his name is Ethan Nwaneri. I fully believe in this talent. I fully believe in the talent. One thing that people may not see now is, well, you've seen it a little bit of Bolton and some of his goals, but he has an eye for goal. In the way that Foden likes to shoot, so does Ethan Nwaneri. Now, my interesting thing for him is going to be, where does he nail down a position? We know Bukayo Saka is the right-hand side. Is he ever going to put, is he going to put that pressure for the left side, left centre midfield? Is he going to be pressuring Odegaard for that position? Potentially knocking him off his spot? Is it going to be off the left? Is it going to be... We don't know yet, and that's going to be interesting. But one thing is, right now, he doesn't need to box himself in. He doesn't have the pressure of a Kobe Mainu, for example, where it's like, go and save us, mate. Go and save us. Go and do everything for us. He doesn't have that pressure, so he can find his way in, kind of like a Phil Foden. But there will come a time, because Arsenal are not as good as Man City were when they had KDB, Silva, and these guys. There will come a time where Arsenal fans and the club are going to be like, we need to get this guy playing. We need to get this guy starting. So I'm looking forward to that moment. And one thing is, right, one thing that has a big credit to him, I remember when I watched him and Lewis Skelly in the Youth Cup. Skelly scored a last-minute winner, I think it's West Ham, or was it Man City? I can't remember. And I was like, okay, Skelly looks a lot more physically ready at this certain point. He could ride challenges. He was driving through the midfield. He looked a lot more physically ready. And I looked at Nwaneri and I was like, it's clear that he's the most technical and probably the most gifted player. But he was playing up front and the defenders were just dominating him. And he moved into midfield at one point and it got a bit better. But I was even looking at it there and I was like, right, okay, even at youth level, physically, they've got him. So massive, massive credit because physically he's developed a lot. But that's what happens when you're a teenager, of course. So when you can match the physical profile with the technical profile, you've got a player there. A lot of times there's players that come through and maybe they don't match the physical profile and you're just a little bit disappointed. And that's why we're praying on Shea Lacey at Man United that he can develop physically because he's a mad talent. And you look at maybe like, who can I say, like a Billy Gilmore, for example. I think he's a fantastic footballer, but it took him a while to physically get up to it for the Premier League, you know. I've heard he's playing really well at Napoli. I haven't really caught it too much, but that's a very good footballer. But sometimes the physical side lets them down. But Nwaneri's got the burst. He's got the acceleration. He's got enough speed to get past people. And slowly his upper body strength will gain. And I think that's something where even though Foden's one player of the year, there's still some aspects where you think, oh, Foden, you could be stronger. You could be stronger. That's what Nwaneri is going to need to add. And hopefully he does, you know what I mean? Whether he's Arsenal or not, I'm a big fan of football. I can't hate on a 17-year-old. You know what I mean? He's a 17-year-old. England, that's the future, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think he'll make the 2026 World Cup. Him, Liam Delap, there's going to be a couple surprises. Because all the time after a tournament, people always say, oh, this is going to be our team for the next 10 years. Oh, who can come and replace? People always pop up. Who would have thought Kobbie Mainoo would have been starting the Euro final right after the Euro 2021 final? Nobody's even thinking about him. You know? So listen, big talent. I think this is Haaland's new Starboy. Saka's the original Starboy, of course. But now, can we really call him a Starboy? That guy's a grown man doing shit, running shit. They've got a new star boy, Ethan Nwaneri, man. Top baller. Listen, Nwaneri, I'm talking about England, but if you want to play for Nigeria, I'll sort something out. Do you know what I mean? I will sort it out. We can go to the airport. We can sort things out. Just shout me. I've got connections. I can make it happen. Trust me. I can make it happen. Nwaneri, playing for Nigeria. What? Hey, Nwaneri, Iwobi, Chido Obi Martin, when we get him, you know what I mean? We're going to get him over the line too. Actually, this guy's trying to play for Denmark. Denmark! Hey, let me not even speak, man. He's taking the piss. He is taking the piss. But that's another story. But listen, shout out to Mbeumo as well. Maybe I'll do a separate video about this. But honestly, there's so many players in the Premier League. If you guys want to see this video, let me know about what players I think in the Premier League are ready to make that step up. There's so many Premier League players who I look at and I'm just like, you guys are very, very good and you guys are able to make that step up in terms of if you want to help like a Man United, a Spurs, go to the next level, a Chelsea, go to the next level. There's a lot of players out there in the Premier League that I'm always in favor of Premier League signings, especially if you're trying to rebuild. If you're trying to rebuild, I think you need to be shopping in the Premier League. I know it's expensive, but I would rather spend 200 million on 4 Premier League signings than 200 million on from another league, because the Premier League, look, they don't have to wait. You see the Højlund, oh, wait for him to develop. Xerxes, wait for him to develop. He needs to adapt to the league. You don't need none of that when you sign these Premier League players. You look at how Declan Rice went into Arsenal, Zinchenko, Jesus, Ramsdale. Okay, he's gone now, but he came in and made an impact. Yeah, I mean, Kai Havertz came in. Who else is there? Arsenal have been shopping in the Premier League. You look at Liverpool, Mane, Oxlade-Chamberlain, VVD, who else? There's so many. You guys will know. Robertson. You guys will know. You know what I mean? Even Pep Guardiola's first signing was John Stones. It was John Stones. You know? But guys, listen, make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn your notification on. Happy New Year, of course. It's 2025. The consistency is going to keep going. Make sure you guys subscribe to my Twitch as well. I'm going to start streaming more. It's going to be a little bit different. Not always going to be football, but we're there to have a good time. We're there to have fun. Arsenal, big win against Brentford away from home. 6 points behind. And Liverpool have United, so I'm going to just say 9 points behind. I'm sorry, Arsenal. But listen, make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on. It's your boy, CultureCams. I'm out. Peace.